In today's Final Touch, it's driving school for rats.
It's all part of a mental health scientific study being done by the University of Richmond. Yes, it is rats, not people behind the wheel. Researchers put two groups of rats in two different environments. One, a regular old lab cage, the other, an enriched environment full of toys. They observed that when put behind the wheel of this adorable little ratmobile, the rats raised in the enriched environment were better drivers. In fact, all rats who learned how to drive produced hormones that control stress. It proved that learning a complex task emotional resistance, and it's rats driving cars.
Yeah, so what else do you need?
That's all you need. That's our time for now. Thanks for watching. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, what a judge is saying after declaring a mistrial in the death of a Janesville woman.
Plus, some area hospitals are seeing a shortage of prescription drugs. What's being done to fill that need?
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
We start with breaking news, though, into the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Law enforcement officials are now offering a $5,000 reward for information on an arson that happened at the Madison Mallard Stadium. That fire happened on October 17th. It hit the gift shop in particular. Officials say there's an estimated $150,000 worth of damages as a result of that fire. Authorities say while they were investigating, they recovered an LED camping lantern near the scene that may belong to the suspects. If you have any information on this investigation, you're asked to call the Madison Area Crime Stoppers line. A note, though, you're only eligible for that $5,000 reward if the information leads to an arrest.
Next at 5, a Rock County murder trial has ended in a mistrial.
The jury was unable to make a decision as to whether or not Julian Collazo is guilty of first-degree intentional homicide. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter was in the courtroom and joins us with why the jury was not able to come to a conclusion. Adam?
Yeah, Danica and Eric, the jury room today was described as hostile and toxic, leaving no answers in the stabbing death of Christine Scacia-Lubeck.
Tensions were high in Rock County Court Thursday morning as friends and family of Christine Scacia-Lubeck awaited a decision of whether or not her suspected killer, Julian Collazo, would be found guilty. In December 2017, Scacia-Lubeck was found stabbed more than 30 times in her Janesville home. Yesterday, the prosecution having a chance to make its closing arguments.
Here's the proof. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 30, 31, 32, 33. Ladies and gentlemen, if that's not proof of intent to kill, I don't know what is.
But defense attorney Jeff Jensen said it wasn't Collazo. Rather, his girlfriend at the time, Nicole Kazar, who killed Scacia-Lubeck in front of him out of anger, leading Kazar and Collazo to run to a different state.
So was Mr. Collazo's behavior laudable that night? No. Could he have made better choices? Yes. Is he guilty of first-degree intentional homicide? Absolutely not.
But as Judge Barbara McCrory addressed the jury today, she found they couldn't agree.
Do you believe at this point that this jury is capable of working more in terms of moving forward?
No, I don't.
A court bailiff saying at one point things became so heated during deliberation, verbal threats were made between jurors.
My understanding that your situations become what people would call a toxic situation.
Now, family and friends of Scacia-Lubeck will have to wait longer, as the case will start all over again in December with a new jury. Tonight, neither side completely satisfied with the outcome.
Evidence used in this week's case will be able to be used again in any future case. The tentative start date to that process over again has been set for this December. But again, frustration for the jury, the prosecution, the defense, and certainly the families involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam Duxter up from Rock County for us tonight. Thank you, Adam.
A Madison man is charged with sexual assault of a woman with cognitive disabilities. Police say 53-year-old Dwayne Sykes has been charged with second-degree sexual assault of a mentally ill victim following an investigation. Officers say Sykes had been employed as a transport driver and the victim was a passenger of his this past September. Officers say surveillance video played a key role in helping detectives put together their case.
An update now to breaking news we brought you last night. Beloit police are continuing to search for a suspect after a man was shot last night. Police say a 19-year-old Beloit man was taken to an area hospital after he was shot multiple times in a car. This happened along 10th Street right around 6:20. Officers say they believe the suspect and victim knew each other. and they do not believe the community is in any danger. Police say the victim is in stable but critical condition.
2 people have non-life-threatening injuries after a crash on the interstate. This happened near DeForest this morning. State Patrol says it was about 4:20. An SUV driven by 46-year-old William Shaw of Iowa Park, Texas, hit a deer, and then a semi driven by a man from Illinois hit the SUV. Troopers say Shaw and a passenger in the semi were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Lanes were shut down for about 6 hours due to that crash.
Let's turn it over now to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canaldi with a look at that first alert forecast. He is out on the weather patio with that. Gary?
And it's a cool weather patio at that, Danica. Skies have clouded up for the last couple of hours, but they should clear out pretty nicely. You can see on visible cloud track the sky is already clearing across much of Minnesota and Iowa. Doppler track free of precipitation across the state, so not looking at any rain from those clouds. This morning, temperatures dropped into the middle 30s, and as skies clear out tonight, we'll probably be colder than that, with low temperatures expected to be in the upper 20s. Already, temperatures are down into the lower to middle 40s through much of southern Wisconsin. And by tomorrow morning, I'm looking for low temperatures to be in the upper 20s to around 30 degrees. The skies clear out. Tomorrow will be a sunny but cool day. The high temperature topping out at 49. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
All right, Gary, thank you. The Richland Center woman accused of killing a man last month was in court today. 35-year-old Amber Lundgren appeared in Sauk County Court. A pretrial date was set for November 22nd. She's admitted to shooting 37-year-old Christopher Lytle of Westfield, saying she shot him in self-defense, shooting him twice in the head and neck back in September.
An update now from around the state as 3 more people have been charged in connection to a large-scale counterfeit vape pen operation. 19-year-old Daniel Graumez, 20-year-old Wesley Webb, and 23-year-old Terrell King are now among the 8 people facing charges, all linked to a THC vape manufacturing business that was run out of a condo in Bristol and a real estate office in Union Grove. A mother and 2 sons are accused of running that black market operation, which allegedly produced thousands of vape cartridges every day.
Health officials say drug shortages are becoming a crisis for hospitals.
Madeline O'Neill is here to tell us how a Madison health system is filling the need with a different option. Maddie?
Well, as patients, we often wouldn't know this, but behind the scenes, hospital workers are often scrambling to obtain everyday drugs because of those shortages. Today, SSM Health St. Mary's here in Madison received one of its first drug shipments from a company called Civica RX. It's a nonprofit established last year by a group of health systems, including SSM. It manufactures essential generic drugs that are often in short supply. Shortages can be caused by quality issues, a lack of available active ingredients, or when a manufacturing company decides not to make the drug.
That's what actually results in the shortage sometimes, is when drug companies stop making a drug because it doesn't make enough money for them. But when it comes to the clinical necessity of the drug, it is very necessary. So I do believe Civica will address this on the long run.
The drug delivered today is the first drug Civica is producing. It's called Vancomycin. That's an antibiotic that can fight life-threatening infections and is often in short supply. Now the nonprofit Civica plans to roll out up to 20 more drugs by the end of the year. Coming up at 6, we'll explain how this impacts patients and those taking care of them.
Yeah, certainly that's something that affects everyone
Absolutely.
out there. Madeline, thanks.
You're welcome.
Wisconsin Republicans are looking to change state law to ban labeling food as meat, milk, or dairy if they do not contain those products. The bill sponsors say they need to protect Wisconsin's agriculture and dairy industries from misleading food labeling. One bill would ban labeling a beverage as milk unless it comes from cows, goats, or certain other animals. Another would prohibit selling a product as cream, yogurt, or cheese unless it included dairy. 11 other states already have such a ban.
If you've been to Devil's Lake State Park recently, you've probably noticed hundreds of trees with red marks across their trunks.
Well, all of those trees are coming down in the next few months. Jamie Perez joins us. She went to Devil's Lake today to find out why. Jamie?
So all of those trees that are marked are what they call hazard trees. They said a majority of them are ash trees, and recently they've been infected by the emerald ash borer. Now, most of those trees are lining the north and south entrances. People have been worried that removing so many trees that line these roads might take away from the aesthetic appeal of Devil's Lake. Today I talked to the park's supervisor, who says only a couple of feet on each side of the roads will be impacted, and he doesn't think that it will take too much away, but said they are trying to save as many trees as they can.
Inevitably, you're going to have a small percentage of the trees that, either die or, as in the case of the emerald ash borer, come up with a disease that kills them.
He also added that if they don't remove these trees now, they could eventually fall into the road and eventually hurt someone. So they're chopping down all those trees within the next few months, and they're also planning to have a timber sale later to sell all of that wood to be used as firewood so that that wood can at least be put to good use this coming winter.
Yeah, the ash borer really having an impact on ash trees all across the state and the Midwest. All right, Jamie, thank you.
If you are looking to get to Devil's Lake on the Merrimack Ferry, that's still an option, but another ferry service is now closed for the season. We're talking about the Pride of Cassville car ferry across the Mississippi, which connects Millville, Iowa, with Cassville, Wisconsin. The service posted on its Facebook page that high water is forcing it to close a little earlier than normal this year. The ferry didn't even open, though, until late June this year. That's 2 months past its normal opening date, also due to high water.
Well, the NBA's been back for a few days now, but the Bucks have had to wait. They will open their season tonight. They'll travel down to Houston, take on the Rockets. The game will tip off at 7 o'clock Central Time. You can watch it on TNT. And the Bucks will play their home opener on Saturday night at Fiserv Forum when the Miami Heat come to town.
Rawlings has released its Gold Glove Award finalists, and one Brewer has made that list. Milwaukee center fielder Lorenzo Cain up for that award. Cain is going up against Washington's Victor Robles and Harrison Bader from St. Louis. Now, Cain has been in the majors for 10 years, has not yet won the award. If the store displays weren't enough of a reminder, we are now officially 2 months away from Christmas Eve, and experts say now is the time to make sure you have enough money in your bank account ahead of the holiday season. Financial advisors suggest to make a budget before going into any store to do any shopping. A lot of people come up with a list of people to buy for first and not the budget. Include everything from postage for Christmas cards to holiday party favors and home decorations. And once you settle on a dollar amount, that's it.
So a budget helps you understand what you can spend, what you want to spend, and it also helps you give some thought to the people that you want to give a gift to. So I think a budget is really useful year-round, as a matter of fact.
You just heard from financial advisor Mark Farnan, who says budgeting is the #1 tip he gives to people planning for retirement, but it's crucial for people of every age, especially this time of year.
And there's more to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, how Republicans are fighting to open those closed-door impeachment inquiry proceedings to the public.
Then coming up tonight at 6, the latest on the F-35 fighter jets as Wisconsin lawmakers are in Vermont learning more about them.
And mixed results today on Wall Street. The Dow closes, losing more than 28 points. The Nasdaq adds an even 66. The S&P 500 jumps a half dozen. We'll be right back. Mourners in Washington gathered on Capitol Hill to honor Congressman Elijah Cummings, who died last week at the age of 68.
Lawmakers from both parties who served with Cummings during his more than 2 decades in Congress saluted his principled leadership. They honored Cummings' fierce devotion to his hometown and the people of Maryland and remembered his friendship.
I have called him our North Star, our guide to a better future for our children.
Elijah often uttered soaring precepts, but he led by a shining example.
He's called a number of things, father, husband. For me, I was privileged enough to be able to call him a dear friend.
A funeral will be held at Cummings' longtime church in Baltimore tomorrow. Former Presidents Bill Clinton and Barack Obama will both speak at that service.
President Trump is turning to fellow Republicans to push back against the Democrat-led impeachment inquiry. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina announced a new resolution condemning House Democrats for conducting closed-door depositions as part of the impeachment inquiry. President Trump has been pushing for Republicans to fight back against the impeachment investigation. Senator Graham says he has 41 co-sponsors for that resolution.
I'm trying to tell Republicans out there that it is okay for the Republican Party to insist that Donald Trump be treated fairly.
When the investigation is done, there'll be public hearings. That's how it's always been done.
Meanwhile, congressional investigators are looking at whether President Trump may have pressured Ukraine's new president even before he had been sworn in.
We are now learning more about the dozens of people who were found dead in the back of a semi-truck yesterday in the UK. Police say the 31 men and 8 women were all Chinese citizens. Authorities are not calling this, though, a case of trafficking. British media reports identify that as the driver is 25-year-old Mo Robinson. Police are holding him on suspicion of murder. Investigators are urgently trying to find any organized crime group that may have played a role in this tragedy.
A dangerous wildfire is forcing hundreds of people to flee their homes in Northern California. Wildfires started racing through Sonoma County overnight, driven by winds of up to 70 miles per hour. Authorities ordered all 900 residents of Geyserville to evacuate, and in nearby Jimtown, flames consumed at least 3 homes. The local utility company has cut off power to the area to prevent the electrical grid from sparking more fires, and California Governor Gavin Newsom says Southern California's utility is now starting to follow suit.
These conditions are multifaceted. It's not just dry weather, it's high winds, low humidity.
The new normal now is there's really not a fire season, so to speak. Unfortunately, we're seeing that we have fires that can break out throughout the year.
At least 2 small fires have erupted so far in Southern California. Fire officials are hoping to prevent the destruction they're dealing with to the north.
Let's turn it over, though, to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with a look at that first alert forecast. Gary, I bet the Californians were wishing for a little bit of the precipitation we've been seeing.
Well, parts of our viewing area have had way too much precipitation over the last couple of months. I wish we could have shipped them some of that rain that fell back in September and early October. But things right now are pretty quiet. We have a band of clouds moving through, but skies are clearing out to the west, and that will allow temperatures to really drop off. You can see on Doppler track, no precipitation across Wisconsin, so things will stay pretty quiet around here. Now, looking farther out into the future, the GFS computer model, the longer range computer model the U.S. government uses, this is all the way through Halloween night, Friday, 12 a.m. next week. You can see no precipitation expected over southern Wisconsin. The weather system over the weekend staying mainly to our south and east. The European computer model, a different story. It shows a fair amount of precipitation, about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of precipitation, mainly in the Wednesday, Thursday time frame of next week. But what's interesting is the snowfall forecast, the GFS computer model, very quiet with that. But the storm systems from Wednesday into Thursday of next week, according to the European computer model, indicate the potential for accumulating snow across much of Wisconsin. Right now, I don't think this is likely to happen, but I do throw that out there because of the fact that should the European model become a little more accurate, at least as we start heading into next week, we'll have to watch that because temperatures will be on the cold side. I don't think we would see much in the way of snow accumulations, but it's certainly not out of the question that we could see a cold Halloween with some snow on that day if the European model, computer model turns out to be correct. Right now, it looks like the better chances of that storm are going to be farther off to the east of us. So right now, we're keeping the forecast dry for Halloween Thursday of next week. Live view from the WISC Skycam shows the clouds overhead, as does the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, but no precipitation falling from those clouds. High today, 45. 45, low temperature 35, so a cool day by late October standards. It's 44 now with mostly cloudy skies, the air calm here in Madison. As we check out current temperatures, again, we're seeing 30s in northern Wisconsin and low to mid 40s across the rest of the state. There's no warm air anywhere around the Midwest right now. In fact, while the upper level winds are from the west-southwest, look what's happening down to the south. Snow across the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. So you think, we're farther north, we should see colder air. It's cold enough for the rain to mix with and change the snow there as the cold air continues to plow down the front slopes of the Rockies and then heads into the southern and central portions of the plains. But this is the weather system that will pass by mainly to our south as we head from tomorrow night into early Sunday morning, giving us just a chance for a light rain shower. Otherwise, temperatures right now, upper 30s to low 40s. I mean, you have to get south of the Ohio River before you see temperatures in the 60s, so very chilly out there. Future track shows that southern system staying mainly to our south, so we'll be dry for tomorrow with sunny skies. We'll be dry for the first part of the day on Saturday, but then as the system gets a little closer, could be close enough to bring us a few scattered showers Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then after that it clears out. Temperatures start turning colder as the winds shift around to the northwest, and the next weather system could bring us a mix of rain and snow middle of next week. Mostly cloudy skies this evening will turn clear overnight. Low temperature dropping to a cold 27 degrees. For tomorrow, look for mostly sunny skies, but our high temperature is still on the cool side at 49. On future track, look for those temperatures to drop into the upper 20s by early tomorrow morning as skies clear out. Plenty of sunshine for tomorrow with high temperatures right around the 50-degree mark. Tomorrow night with clear skies, we drop into the lower 30s, and then Saturday morning sunshine gives way to afternoon clouds, highs in the lower 50s. Again, a few showers possible Saturday night into Sunday morning, very early Sunday morning. Then that cool trend as we head into next week. Look at the rain snow chances from Monday night into Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday will be windy as well. But Halloween right now, we're keeping it dry with a high of only 40 and then highs mid-40s for the end of next week. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, here's the view on the Beltline at John Nolan Drive. Traffic moving steadily in both directions, although traffic volumes are increasing. On the eastbound Beltline, we're seeing some delays from around Monona Drive back to just west of Verona Road. Also some delays northbound on Highway 12 heading out of Middleton, and an accident reported on US 151 heading just northeast of the interstate. Right now, almost a half-hour drive on the Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, 19 minutes going back in the westbound direction. Heading down to Janesville, we're back to our 27-minute commute, normal for today. 19 minutes to Sauk City out on US 12, and it's 20 minutes to Sun Prairie on US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
Okay, Gary, thank you. Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, with cold and flu season quickly approaching, why do millions of Americans choose to tough it out rather than call in sick? We'll explain after a short break. We've all heard the familiar refrain, if you're sick, stay home.
And yet, millions of Americans choose to go to work instead of taking a sick day. I know I'm guilty of that. Sukanya Christian reports from New York.
With the dreaded cold and flu season fast approaching, many Americans with fevers, coughs, and runny noses will be forced to make a decision: go to work sick or stay at home.
I've gone to work in all kinds of conditions, almost with like maybe something broken.
New research from the staffing firm Account Temps finds 90% of employees admit they've come to the office with cold or flu symptoms. Most of those who went into work say they did so because they had too much work on their plate, didn't want to use their sick time, or felt pressure from their employer to come in.
When you think about, there are more jobs than skilled talent, it is conceivable that individuals do go to work because of limited resources within that company, as well as tight deadlines for the job that they have.
Among the 28 U.S. cities in the study, Charlotte, Miami, Austin, Chicago, and Cincinnati are the top 5 where employees show up sick.
If you're not feeling well and you're coughing and sneezing, it's not a good way to take care of other people.
According to the study, bosses should also set the example when sick by taking time off and encouraging employees to work from home.
The last thing you want is to prolong your recovery, but you don't want to get your colleagues sick as well.
Researchers also suggest workers who feel sick think twice before pushing themselves too hard.
Stay home, get better, stay home.
No sense of guilt.
Nah.
They say the key is to relax, rest, and recharge. Sukanya Krishnan, CBS News, New York.
Account Temps suggests managers could offer employees with minor ailments the opportunity to work from home or bring in temps to handle the workload.
And stay with us. We'll have another check of your forecast in just a moment.
Another chilly but nice fall day.
Yeah, the clouds are keeping the sun away this afternoon, and then when they clear out tonight, those temperatures will drop. There are the clouds moving in, but you can see them already starting to erode away out to the west. Temperatures are in the lower 40s, low to mid 40s. Dew point temperatures again around 30, so we're going to be looking at low temperatures in the upper 20s. Highs in the 50s the next couple of days, and then much cooler for the middle of next week.
All right, Gary, thank you. Stick around. We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.